want us to say this confession. And everybody watching, if you'll put this in the room in all caps, can I get us to say, Father, I want to get to the other side. So help me to enjoy the rain. This is necessary. One more time. Father, I want to get to the other side. So help me to enjoy the rain. This is necessary. This is necessary. This is necessary. This is necessary. Enjoy the rain. Adversity all around him. Winds blowing all around him. Thunder roaring all around him. But Jesus is resting. The heavens released the rain, and the earth produced its fruit. You don't get fruit without having rain. And many of us, what I've been really trying to get us to understand, a lot of people say, God, open the floodgates of heaven. I don't really think you know what you're asking for. A lot of people are saying, God, I want it to be my harvest season. If you know anything about farming, agriculture, and farmers will tell you the harvest season is the most strenuous season. It's the most difficult season. You sweat a lot in that season. You're uncomfortable in that season. I don't think we really know what we're asking for. When I heard the word in November of 2019, try me, and have this huge flag that you see when you leave the church that says, try me, it's because I heard God tell me, I need you to try me. And then later he said, now enjoy the rain. I don't think we really know what we're asking for. Everybody wants fruit, but then we despise the storm. Like we question God when it rains. We wonder, is he still there when it rains? We wonder, if he really loved me, why did this happen if it's raining? And I recognize why we have this posture. It's because in Western Hemisphere Christianity, we've been preaching so much about the God that blesses that we think sunshine is God and rain is Satan. Did y'all hear what I just said? We preach so much about the blessing and the breakthrough that we think sunshine, oh, that's God. That's Yahweh. But rain, that's the devil. But even if you only have sunshine, you become a desert. A dull, unproductive, non-fruit bearing place. You need the rain. Somebody say the rain. The rain, the rain. And I tried to get us to understand every storm is not the same. Jonah was experiencing rain because he was rebellious. He was experiencing rain because God gave him an instruction. And since the instruction didn't sit well with him, somebody say my feelings. Since the instruction didn't sit well with his feelings, he rebelled, and so then he experienced rain. Every storm is not the same because Noah, he experienced rain because he was favored. Noah experienced rain because he was faithful. Which rain are you getting and why? Are you getting rain because you're like Jonah? Are you getting rain because you're like Noah? The rain. The rain. Everybody wants fruit. But then we despise and try to rebuke the rain. Maybe I'm trying to give confirmation to somebody. Whatever you've been praying against and rebuking it and it's not changing, maybe it's not the devil, it's God. You've been given the power to rebuke demons. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. But you have not been given the power to rebuke that which God is using as surgery. The thing that you're saying, God, take this away. No, I need to take something away from you. There's something that only the storm can teach us. And watch this, church family. Without rain, even that which is planted experiences death. Did y'all hear me? You can be planted, but without rain, even the planted experiences death. Storms are necessary. I want to tell you what storms do. Number one, storms are the orientation for fruit production. You want to grow? Here's some rain. Storms are the orientation for fruit production. Number two, rain is the enrollment for the mature. Anybody who said, God, grow me this year, you're saying, send me rain. Because storms are enrollment for the mature. Number three, rain is the transportation system that takes us from underneath to above. This is so good. Rain is the transportation method that God takes us from being under to being over. A tree can't be over dirt that it once wasn't under. This is for anybody who wants to be a leader. If serving is beneath you, leading is beyond you. The tree only stands over what it used to be under. I don't know why I can't get over this. Are you under the principles of Christ? Are you under the teachings of Jesus? Because if I'm not under the principles, I can't expect to get over principalities. I have to get under. All the seed is something that was once under, and all a tree is now I'm no longer under it, I'm over it. This is so good, y'all. I'm over it. Storms. Without this storm, you won't see the fruit. See, this is something I've learned. There's wisdom in between the raindrops. There's wisdom in between the raindrops. Come here, disciples. If y'all would not have gone through this storm, you would not have known that Jesus' presence is bigger than your problem. There's wisdom in between the raindrops. Once you have gone through a storm and you survive, the next time you face another one, you're not as scared anymore. Because if God got me out of that and I came out without smelling like smoke, if God got me out of that pandemic and I'm still here standing, if God caused me to heal from that ugly breakup and I'm still here, because some of us are grieving over what was never yours. That was never God's will for you. That was never God's plan for you. That was never God's best for you. You didn't lose what God has for you. No, you lost what was blocking what God has for you. Change your perspective. There's wisdom in between the raindrops. I'm not as scary when I went through that storm and I survived it. See, I don't know how I missed this, y'all. I don't know how I missed this. I've read the whole Bible before several times. I've read the gospel several times, but I don't know how I missed that in Matthew chapter 8 and then in Matthew chapter 14, I see that Peter kind of grew a little bit. How I missed this? And they close to. In Matthew chapter 8, they're all terrified of a storm. But when the situation looks just like it did in Matthew chapter 14, Peter said, hold on, wait, hold on a second. I've been through a storm before. And last time I was in a storm, Jesus told me, oh, ye of little faith. Okay, so since I went through that storm, if this is his presence again in this storm, I have a different expectation. I want to show y'all this, y'all. Matthew chapter 14. I don't know how I missed this, y'all. Matthew chapter 14. It says, but the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. Certain translations say whirlwind or a great wind storm. Now, the fourth hour, or in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them walking on the sea. And the disciples saw him walking on the sea, and they were troubled, saying, it's a ghost. They cried out for fear, but immediately Jesus said to them, be of good cheer, it is I. Do not be afraid. Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it's you, Lord, if it's you, command for me to come to you. Peter was like, hold on, wait. Matthew 8, we were in a storm and we didn't drown. Okay. The wind was blowing then and we didn't drown. Okay, Matthew, all of y'all, Judas, you definitely be quiet. All of y'all, hold up. If this is really him, Last time it was him, he did the miraculous. So this time, if it is him, he gonna do the miraculous again. But watch this. This time, I don't want to just see the miraculous. I want to participate. I want to participate. Don't just do the miraculous. If it's you, allow me to be a part of the miracle too. God, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water. I remember what it was like when I went through the storm in 2017. I remember what it was like when I went through a storm in 2018. If you're the same God that was with me in my Matthew chapter 8, you're going to be the same God that's with me in my Matthew chapter 14. I guarantee you, Jesus starts smiling. Jesus starts smiling. Verse 29, Jesus said, come. I mean, it's like, okay, I see you, Peter. What's up? Come on, I see you. So Peter, then he came down out of the boat. Down Thomas was probably like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. He steps out the boat and he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw, somebody say saw. When he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid and began to sink. He cried out saying, Lord, save me. And I could just imagine Jesus reached out and saved him and said, Pete, you were doing it. Why did you doubt? Did you see what you were doing? See, but here's the thing. When you walk by sight, and not by faith, you miss the fact that I'm a water walker. I tried to tell us during Therapy Thursday, if I could be honest, my eyes, my heart, and my mind are not friends. They're not friends. I have to constantly war and tell my eyes to believe the promises of God that I have planted in my heart. I've made my confession and I believe in my heart. Eyes, we don't believe what we see. We believe the promises is in here. Now mine, meditate on that. And it's a conversation that I have to constantly have with my eyes, with my heart, and my mind, with my eyes, and with my heart. We don't go off of what we see. If I was a note taker, I'd write this down. The prerequisite to being a water walker is you have to have he's the same God perspective. The prerequisite to being a water walker is you have to have he's the same God perspective. The same God who didn't let me drown in Matthew 8. He's the same God that's not going to allow me to drown in Matthew 14. He's the same God. Somebody shout, he's the same God. The same God that allowed me to keep my sanity when everything around me was going crazy. The same God who did that is the same God who's going to do this. The same God who gave us a building in 2008 when we were meeting in the Crown Plaza Hotel and people were having church services right next door to us. And we were hearing them sing and hearing their drums play through the walls. The same God that heard us and gave us a building in 2008 is the same God who will give us a building now because we're running out of space. He's the same God. The same God that raised the revenue and raised the income when we needed 6 figures for this building and we didn't know how we were going to get it. The same God who came through then is the same God who's going to come through now. The same God. The same God that allowed Hurricane Ike. I'm preaching to you my experience, church. The same God that allowed Hurricane Ike to rip the roof off of this building and water is raining in the church. And I'm thinking like, God, we just got the building. Why would you let it rain in here? Now we got to clean all this stuff. It's the same God that allowed the insurance money to pay off the repairs and pay off the debt and pay off the remodeling. He's the same God. The same God that told me, try me, is the same God that sees the parking spot limitations, that sees the seating limitations, that sees it. He's the same God. And if you feel this in your spirit, will you give God a same God praise? You're the same God of Abraham. You're the same God of Jacob. You're the same God who got me through that. You're the same God who healed me from that. You're the same God. Somebody shout, he's the same God. He's the same God. I was trying to get us to understand faithfulness is commitment to the same. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. My mother called me early Saturday morning and said God told her we've had too many experiences with him to be baffled by this. We've seen him faithful too much to be baffled by this. God is saying, you don't think I see the need? I'm the same God who gave your need in the last season. I'm the same God who's going to supply your need in this season. It may look bad, but I'm the same God. It may look scary, but I'm the same God. You look to me, not the wind. I'm the same God. I'm the same God. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves, the same God of Jacob, the same God of Abraham, the same God of David, the same God of Moses. He's the same God. Why are you baffled by what you're going through? This is the prerequisite to be a water walker. He's the same God. See, but here's the thing, church. The rain is needed for our growth. The thunder is for intimidation purposes only. This is so good, y'all. I hopped on IG and I did a live on Friday. And I said, hey, I want to know, why do people give up? Why do people quit, especially in relationships? Because I was thinking about our relationship with God. I said, why do people walk away? Why do they give up? Why do they fold? The number one consistent answer was fear. We fear, what if they don't change? We fear, what if I made a bad pick? We fear, what if this gets worse? It's fear. Fear. What if I told you we've been focusing so much on the thunder, which is giving us a spirit of fear, that you're missing the rain that's giving you roots?